Hello everybody, this is Rajkumar, Assistant Professor, Department of Chemistry, Dr. NGP Arts and Science College. And now I am going to take one of the topic which belongs to textile chemistry. The topic name is vegetable fiber and animal fiber. So in this video, what we are going to discuss. So the first one, definition. We know that the yarn is there and yarn convert into fabrics. So the definition we are going to discuss, and the classification of textile fiber, properties of textile fiber, then what is the difference between vegetable fiber and synthetic fiber, and one of the important fiber, cotton. Then we are going to discuss the cotton fiber introduction and their physical and chemical properties. So these topics we are going to discuss in this video. So first of all, we have to see the classification of textile fiber. So textile fiber comes under the category of two, that is natural and man-made fiber. So natural fibers, so usually three varieties of natural fibers are there. First one, vegetable fiber, animal and minerals. So these three comes under the category of natural fiber. And the example for vegetable fiber, cotton, linen, kapak, jute, hemp. So these are, we can get we can collect it from vegetable. So it is known as vegetable fiber. And silk, wool. So these are the example for animal fiber. Then third one, asbestos. So asbestos is nothing but it is the example for mineral fiber. And another category, that is man-made fiber. So man-made fiber, three different varieties are there. That is regenerated cellulose, synthetic fiber, and finally the third one, acetate cellulose. So nitrocellulose rayon, copper-ammonium rayon, viscose rayon. So these are the example for regenerated cellulose. And second one, polyester, nylon, acrylic compound. So these are the example for synthetic fiber. And acetate cellulose. So it has only one example, that means nylon. And the vegetable fiber or cellulosic fiber. So what is the meaning? That means the fibers, they are derived from plant, are called vegetable fibers. The basic material of all plant life is cellulose. So we know that the background material, the background skeleton is cellulose. So cellulose is made up of element like carbon, hydrogen, oxygen. So these are the common element which is present in the cellulose structure. These cellulose fiber have certain common properties like low resilience properties, high density, and good conductor of heat. They are highly absorbent and are resistant to high temperature. Cotton flax, jute, remi are some of the example of vegetable fibers. And the second one, animal fibers. So animal fibers, the obtained from animals, so that is known as animal fiber. The best example for animal fiber, wool and silk. They are made up of protein molecules. So when we see the vegetable fiber, its background is cellulose. So simultaneously, when we look for animal fiber, it has the background protein structure. The basic element in the protein molecules are carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, and nitrogen. So some of the elements also similar present in the animal vegetable fiber. So the animal fiber have high resilience but weak when wet, because they are bad conductor of heat. And the third one, mineral fiber. They are inorganic material shaped into the fiber, are mainly used in the fireproof fabrics. Asbestos is the example of mineral fiber. So the mineral fiber are fireproof, resistant to acid, and are used for industrial purpose. So the second category, man-made fiber. So these fibers refer to that are naturally present in nature and are made artificially by the man. That means, first of all, we are getting the fiber naturally, and adding some other chemicals convert into synthetic fiber. So this is known as artificially made by man. And man-made fiber have high strength, strong when wet, low moisture absorption characteristics. Example of man-made fiber are viscose rayon, acetate rayon, nylon, polyester, etc. Depending on the raw material chosen for making of the fiber, they are classified as cellulosic fiber, protein fiber, and synthetic fiber. So the next one, the general properties of textile fiber. So usually we are getting the fiber from two varieties. So natural fiber is there, man-made fiber is there. So the main properties they are needed. Even though we select natural fiber, means these particular properties should possess in this fiber. So what are the important properties? That means first one, staple fiber. So staple fiber, it is an very short length. That means the length is 3.3 by 4 inch to 18 inch. So very short, and except silk, all other natural fibers are staple fiber. So all other natural fibers are staple fiber except silk. Staple fibers are of limited length. Then second one, filament. So filament is opposite to the staple fiber. That means it has long length. So what is the length? 362,200 meters. And synthetic filament can be made many kilometers long. The only natural fiber available in silk is in silk. So except silk, all the natural fibers are stable fiber. But here the silk fibers are long continuous chain. That means they have the length 362,200 meters. And the third one, texture. It is the tactile sensation experience when hand is passed over a surface. A staple fiber and the fabrics made from stable are lightly rough, while filament and fabrics made from filaments fibers are smooth. And the fourth one, resilience. So it is the mean that when the fiber is compressed and later when the pressure is released, it comes to the original position. So that is the major thing. So resilient properties is nothing but when the fiber is compressed and when we release the pressure, it comes to the original shape. So the resistance to compression varies from fibers to fiber. So some differences are there. This quality cases the fabrics to be wrinkle resistant, with resistance varying according to the degree of elasticity inherent in the fiber. So wool has outstanding resilience properties while it is poor in cotton. So compared to cotton, wool has high resilience properties. And fifth properties is luster. It is seen when light reflects from a surface. It is more subdued than shine. Silk and synthetic have luster than cellulosic fiber. In fact, the synthetic have high luster, which is purposefully removed during the spinning. And sixth one, elasticity. So that is the important thing of all fibers. So elasticity is needed. It is the ability of stretched material to return immediately to its original shape. And seventh one, static electricity. That means generated by friction of a fabric when it is rubbed against itself or other object. If the electrical charge is not conducted away, it tends to build up on the surface, and when fabrics comes in contact with a good conductor, a shock or transfer occur. This transfer may sometimes produce spark. This is more feel during hot and humid condition. And the last one, crimp. So crimp, that means wool fiber is more or less wavy as twist. The waviness is termed as crimp. Finer the wool, more will be crimped in it. That means the one of the variety of merino wool will have 30 crimp per inches, while porous wool has only one or two crimps. These properties of having crump gives elasticity to the fiber. So When we look at the elasticity, the crump is more important for particular fibers. And the next topic, the difference between the vegetable and synthetic fiber. So first point, that is the low resilience. That means the cellulosic fiber have low resilience property, and when we compare to the when we go for the synthetic fiber, it has high resilience property. And the second one, water absorbency. So when we look at the cellulosic fiber, it has high water absorbency, and it is more comfortable for summer wear and good for towel, handkerchief and diaper. Then second one, so in the case of synthetic fiber, low moisture absorbency, easily washable and easy spot removing. Then the third point, the cellulose fiber are good conductor of heat. Example, cotton. And synthetic fibers also good conductor of heat, and they melt with hot or ionic touch with a hot object. The fourth one, identification. So identification, when we look the cellulosic fiber, ignite quickly, burns freely with smoke, and have an afterglow and after burning. Then identification of synthetic fiber, it is readily burns and melt, giving the distinct plastic burning odor. And the fifth point, that is the cellulosic fiber have high affinity for dyes. So that is the major thing. So whenever we have to prepare the material, it is more affinity with the dyes. So then only we can get a particular color material. So in this case, cellulose has high affinity with the dyes. The same thing, that means when we go for synthetic fiber, have low affinity for dyes. And the sixth one, cellulosic fibers are resistant to moth but less susceptible to mildew. Hence, the damp cloth should not be stored. That means we should not store the material. That is the major thing. But in the case of synthetic fiber, highly resistant to moth, mildew, and insects. Then seventh one, the cellulosic fibers need ironing at low temperature. So example, wool. The synthetic fibers are adjusted with high heat setting, hence it is good for embossed designing and easy for plant setting. Then the last point, susceptible to strong mineral and organic stains that require acid treatment, should be rapidly removed. In the case of synthetic fiber, it get readily damaged due to the acid. Example, nylon. And here we are going to see the one of the natural fiber, that is vegetable fiber, cotton fiber. So first of all, some of the introduction about cotton fiber. So cotton is obtained plant source, we know that, and it is classified as a natural material. So I already told. And the staple fiber. So staple fiber means its length is very low. So that means the cotton has 10 to 65 millimeter length, and white to be begin in the color in its natural state, and it is composed basically of substance called cellulose. That means it has the background skeleton cellulose structure. Yes, cotton occupied 50% of consumption of fibers by weight in the world. It is called as king of all fiber. So cotton, we can call it as a king of all fiber. Cotton is fabric for every home and is most widely produced of textile fabrics today. It has now been proved that India was the first country to manufacture the cotton. So we can proudly say that India is the first country to produce the cotton fiber. The cotton fiber is shortest of all textile fiber. Its length is 8 by 10 of, that means 2 inches. The cotton with short length fiber is technically known as short staple. The one with long fiber is called long staple, and it is more used since it is used for making fine quality of cloth. Then cultivation of cotton. The principal cotton producing region are Egypt, southern United States, India, Brazil, the western and southern coast of America and East Indias. It required 200 days to continue warm weather with adequate moisture and sunlight. That means the cotton plant need 200 days with some adequate moisture and sunlight. The forest is harmful to the plant. Then March and April month are suitable for plantation. So if we want to plant the cotton material, cotton plant, we have to go for March and April month. That is very apt for cotton plant. Then America produced more than 40 percentage of the world's cotton. Even though India is the first country to produce the cotton, but nowadays America produce more than 40 percentage of world's cotton. India ranked second to the United States as per producer and exporter of cotton. Now we are going to discuss the physical properties of cotton fiber. So the cotton fiber, first of all, we know that this is a short fiber and its length is very small, up to 2 inches. So likewise, it has the cylindrical and tubular as it grows. The cotton fiber is essentially cellulose consisting of carbon, hydrogen and oxygen. So the bleached cotton is almost pure cellulose. Raw cotton contain about 5% impurity. So bleached cotton. So we should distinguish the cotton whether this is an pure cotton or impurity cotton. So impurity cotton is nothing but it contains 5% of impurities. And strength. The cotton fiber is relatively strong, which is due to the intricate structure and 70% crystalline. Then elasticity. So the cotton is relatively inelastic because of its crystalline polymer system, and for this reason cotton's textile wrinkle and crease readily. Then hygroscopic moisture. So cotton does not hold moisture so well as wool or silk, but absorb it and so feel them much more quickly. It also rapidly spread throughout the material. Suppose that means if the cotton fiber absorb the water molecules, it readily to um, spread the water molecules throughout the material. The next point, electrical properties. Hygroscopic natural prevents the cotton textile material from developing static electricity. The last one, absorbency. Yes, the cotton has cellulose. It is a good absorbent of fiber. So next one, thermal properties. So thermal properties, that means already we have discussed the physical properties of cotton, and now we are going to discuss the thermal properties of cotton. So the cotton fiber have the ability to conduct heat energy, minimizing any destructive heat accumulation, thus they can withstand hot ironing temperature. And another point, droppability. So cotton does not have good body to drop well in shape. The type of construction of fabrics made may improve this property. Then resilient properties. Cotton has wrinkles easily, and some wrinkle resistant finish may reduce this property. So cleanliness and washability. Though the cotton absorbs dust due to its rough nature, it can be washed easily in the hot water and strong soap without damaging the fiber. And some other thermal properties of cotton. Luster. The natural cotton has no pronounced luster. This can be improved by the emulsion finish of cotton. Shrinkage. The fiber itself does not shrink, but the cotton which has been stretched in the finishing process tends to relax back, creating shrinkage. And the heat conductivity. The cotton is better conductor of heat than wool or silk, but not as good as rayon. And the third one, chemical properties. So already we have discussed the physical and thermal properties, but the major thing is chemical properties. So chemical properties means we have to treat the material with acid and bases. So here what is the discussion means the action of acid and alkalis. So the strong acid such as concentrated HCl, sulfuric acid, then nitric acid will destroy the fibers immediately. Dilute inorganic acid will weaken the fiber, and if left dry will rot it. Therefore, after treatment with acidic solution, cotton articles should be thoroughly rinsed in a water. They are affected very little by the organic acid. They are also quite resistant to alkalis, even to strong caustic alkalis at high temperature and pressure. That means if we are taking the material with concentrated, that means caustic alkali means sodium hydroxide at high temperature, it can withstand. And one more example is given to you, that is in 8% of NaOH, cotton fiber swells, spirals, twisted, uncoil and shrink and become thicker. The resultant fiber is smoother, luster, and stronger, and it has increased water and dye absorption. Then effect of bleaching. They have no effect until used in uncontrolled condition and with heat. So another chemical properties. Effect of sunlight and weather. Ultraviolet rays and of sunlight affect the strength of fiber and change the color to yellow when exposed to prolonged period. Pollution also affect the fiber. Concentrated and dilute mineral acid like sulfuric acid will discolor fiber. Affinity to dyes. Cotton takes in dyes better than linen but not as readily as silk and wool. If a mordant is used, cotton is easily enough to dye modern color. Direct or substantive dyes should be applied to the cotton. Effect of perspiration. Both acidic and alkaline perspiration discolor the fibers. And the last property is biological properties. So it is the major thing because after some of the usage, some biological due to the some these properties, we have lost the strength of fiber. So what are the biological properties? Resistance to microorganism. The mildew and bacteria damage our cotton fiber. The resistance to insects. Moth and beetles will not affect or damage the cotton, but the silverfish eats the cotton cellulose. Okay, thank you.